And they lost Dallas Keuchel, but they have 4 aces. These guys were either the ace on their team or they were the number 2 guy. And they have 4 pitchers that are going to dominate, I believe. Astros on the up and up. They're already leading. They're leading Major League Baseball, I believe, with the best record. But at least for the American League, they're leading. They're 70-40. They're tied with the Yankees. They are 8 games above 8 games above the A's, 14 games above the Angels, and 15 games above my Rangers. But they just made their season 100% better picking up Greinke. And actually, they don't have the best record. The best record, shout out to my Dodgers people, said the greatest, 72-39 is the Dodgers. My Braves made some good moves to work the bullpen. You're right. You're definitely right about that. Did you guys see or hear about the brawl that went on between the Reds and the Pirates? If you didn't see it, go back and pull it up. It'll be some entertaining break time or lunchtime viewing for you for a couple of reasons. First off, you got guys throwing at each other. And then second, you got the player Amir Garrett, who's on the mound. His coach is coming up there and he's like, all right, we're going to have to take you out. You know, not having a good game. You just threw a guy and we're going to have to take you out. So he's walking off the field, but he's walking in the wrong direction. And then the next thing this cat does is runs full speed at the Pirates dugout and jumps up with a haymaker. Basically, it was like 20-1, and he ran into the rest of these players. So, needless to say, he got suspended. Yasiel Puig got suspended. There's 8 players that got suspended in this ball. Raider Kev says, I feel very good right now, but tapering my excitement because you know when things go, when the shoe will drop. Fish says that pitcher went in. He used to play basketball for St. John's. Yeah, he did. He was like jumping off the top ropes. He was upset, highly upset. Puig was traded before the game. He shouldn't have been playing. Actually, the story goes that he was traded during the game, like when he was batting or he was in the outfield, but they should have took him out. He shouldn't, yeah. If it was before, he should have never played. But from what I heard, it was during the game, and they just let him continue to play, and the manager was thrown out. So that was a horrible game on all fronts for both sides. Major League Baseball hitters, check this out, are on pace to hit 600 more home runs than any previous season. Nearly 10% above the record that was set 2 years ago. And there's already been talks, and Rollins has already said that they are boosting the baseballs, which obviously they have to be. If you think at the rate these home runs are going out of the park, they have to be. Analytics stated the Dodgers' downfall in the World Series against the Astros. They didn't even compete against the Red Sox, said Galloway. And speaking of the Dodgers, let me talk about this. Clayton Kershaw has moved ahead of Sandy Koufax for third all-time in franchise history. He now has 397 strikeouts, for his career. Kershaw has been that guy. Kershaw has been that guy since the minute he came in the league. He still continues to dominate. He hasn't gotten that monkey off his back getting that championship. I want that for him. I definitely want that for him. Let me go back real quick. And you tune into the BS3 Sports Show right here on X Squad Radio. But the Melo talk about him getting a reunion. Carmelo Anthony, is he done? Will he play again? I think he'll play again. But Carmelo Anthony felt emotionally vulnerable, he says, after 10 years with the Rockets. But he tells Stephen A. that his passion is to come back. He says, I know I can still play, which I believe he still can. What team is going to pick him up? He also says Melo doesn't care for the farewell tour, and he would be at peace with retiring. And I think at some point, as a professional athlete, you have to come to that realization that at any point in time, it could be your last year. And as you get older, as you are not picked up by a team, which has got to be frustrating, it affects your psyche. It affects your mental. And it's going to affect you. And they're human. We forget. They're not superheroes. This is not the X-Men. This is not Avengers. They are human. They have feelings. They have emotions. And stuff that affects you is going to affect them. But I think Melo will be back. I think he'll have one more year. I think he deserves the tour. I've always been a Melo fan. Also, other breaking news as far as the Zion shoe deal. He had 18+ million shoe offers. Lei Ning, which is I believe the Chinese shoe brand, and Puma, willing to offer him $18 million per year. Obviously, he ended up going to Jordan. I like that. I like that matchup right there. I like them teaming up together. I'm definitely a fan of that. I'm a fan of Jordan's. But Zion's deal is worth $75 million over 7 years, which would have made the biggest shoe deal since Nike signed LeBron to $90 million in 2003. The money Jordan Brand will pay Zion annually over the lifetime is $10.7 million. So he could have got more elsewhere. But he chose to go with Jordan, which I'm sure has got to be one of his childhood idols, if it's not his childhood idol already. And we'll see what Zion pans out to be. There's a lot of mixed reviews. Is he going to be Blake Griffin? Is he going to be LeBron? Is he going to be a bust? I don't think he's going to be a bust. I do think he's going to be a dominant player. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the Pelicans are going to look like on the floor. Because that's going to be a very young and talented team. All right, so before we end the show, getting close towards the end of the show, coming up next, like I said, Fish and Grits right here on X Squad Radio. Also, you guys out there listening, if you were interested in starting a podcast, if you were interested in joining X Squad, if you're interested in doing a show on X Squad, right now is the time. So send your show link, your request, DJ mix, or radio show to info@xsquadaffiliates.com. Apply now so you can bring your show to X Squad Radio. Shout out to Kesey Building. Perfect time in there. Coming through. So Canelo Alvarez was stripped of his IBF title. There was a deal in the works to fight, I know 100% I'm going to say this name wrong, but Derevyanchenko was going to be a fight that was going to potentially happen. It was the IBF mandatory fight. There was a deadline. He missed the deadline. The fight is not going to happen. He's stripped of that title. He's looking at reportedly doing a fight with Andrade for unification. But Canelo's beat everybody. besides Mayweather. But he's beat everybody. I would love to see him versus Triple G, Part 3. I think we can bring a final conclusion to that. And that's what I would want to see. That's what I would want to see. Last story I want to touch on before we end the show. A's fan. He comes to the game and he throws a 96-mile-an-hour fastball at the ballpark speed test, and he gets signed by the Oakland A's. That's the ultimate come-up right there. Shout out to that guy. Let me get his name. Nathan Peterson. Shout out to him. Take advantage of the opportunities because you never know when it's your last time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the BS3 Sports Show. Coming up next, Fish and Grits right here on X Squad Radio. Have a good rest of your day. God bless. God is love. And I'm out. Peace. Have a good weekend.